Well, James finally got a hold of me at night. The whole situation with Seth continuing to harass me, well, it's a major issue. James wants to know why I'm victimizing him over Jackie and Seth. Well, I'm not. I'm speaking out about a situation that he was involved in. Now, James admitted to pushing Jamie after she punched him in the head. That's his version of the story. As I wasn't there for that situation, I can't say whether or not that's true. The bruises that Jamie had went all the way up her back. That's not from getting punched. If I get punched in the face, I'm going to have bruises on my face, right? If I'm pushed into something, then I'll likely have bruises on my back. Is that correct? Of course it is. Now, with this situation, what I want to know is why I've been victimized over Jamie. Jamie playing. Now, James, he's as pissed off at Jamie as I am. He knows she's a player. Same as me, same as Otska, same as Hayden McCall. The issue here was that Jamie used her son to get me to do things. She didn't need to do the things that she did in the way that she did. She didn't need to lie. A lot of women are taught to do this, though. When they leave a situation with a man, it's pretty commonplace to run around and talk shit on that guy and say what a terrible excuse for a human being he is. That doesn't need to happen. With Jamie, getting her out of that household was good enough for me. As far as being victimized, yeah, I do think of James as a victim in all this. I really do. But he's not my victim. See, last January of 2018, when Jamie said that James did not rape anyone, I corrected it. Jamie's the one that told me that James was a rapist. And when she corrected it, I corrected it. Since I slandered his name in public, I felt it was only right to correct that in public, and I did. I even said I was sorry. However, Seth harassing me at every friggin' juncture that he possibly can, I ignored that for a whole year. But when he started harassing me on my posts, yeah, I went back and even went to some of the older posts and fucking ripped his ass there. See, instead of Seth allowing me and James, which me and James had agreed to do the adult thing, Jamie didn't. Seth didn't. It's a pretty fucked up situation. But James and I had agreed to deal with it like adults. Jamie didn't want to. Jamie wasn't okay with that because she wasn't done playing. Now, Jackie, she could have said something almost 2 years ago. But she didn't. She didn't until just recently. And she went off about me saying that James was a rapist. I said that almost 2 years ago. And I corrected it as soon as I heard. As soon as Jamie said James is not a rapist, I corrected it. But Jamie didn't say anything, or Jackie didn't say anything about that. Anything at all. For an entire year and 7 months, 9 months, something like that. That's a lot of time to not say nothing. And now she wants to pretend like I'm still calling James a rapist. No, I'm not. It was fucked up for Jamie to say that to begin with. But the fact is, Jamie set it up and set up a scenario where I had to be afraid for her and the boy. She used the fact that I care about them to manipulate me. That's not okay. James telling me that this pissing contest between me and Seth has nothing to do with him. No, it has everything to do with you. You could have asked them to stop. When it comes to the things that James wanted me to take down, I would love to have the time to sit down and do all of that with all of this other court bullshit and all of this other bullshit that I have going on. I would love to sit down and actually Honestly, I'd like to get rid of all of it. But the fact is that with everything that's going on, I can't. It's evidence. Now, I admitted to slandering James's name, because I did. I said he was a rapist, and he wasn't. However, I corrected that. Like I should have. Because it was the right thing to do. Jackie didn't give two fucking shits about it until Jamie got busted playing. Not just playing, but playing me and James, and Todd Harmon as well. And then I got a whole bunch of people who are mad at me over that. That's fine, you go ahead and be mad about that. It doesn't make any goddamn difference. It doesn't change the scenario. Fact is, Seth Payton is a punk-ass little bitch. He didn't just come onto my page and harass me. He didn't just go to my YouTube channel and harass me. He went out and actively sought out things with Natalie to harass me on. And as a result, yeah, I'm still pushing for the truth to come out. Jamie, myself, and James should all be allowed not a day to sit down at a table and discuss it like adults, because Jamie's not capable. I am. James is obviously capable. So James and I are. But Jamie needs to be brought to court. See, that's the thing, is that it's always a man's fault. When a woman manipulates, it's always a man's fault. Now, there's also the fact that I have more self-control than James does, despite the fact that I'm in a much more fucked up situation than he is. When Crystal Beauchamp decided that she was going to assault me, she didn't just hit me in the head, she hit me in the head repeatedly. She tried to claw my friggin' head off. Guess how many times I hit Crystal? None. Guess how many times I pushed Crystal to get away from me? None. Not even once. I just covered up and took it. James, after getting punched in the head by Jamie, according to his version of the story, which she never said anything about hitting him, imagine that. She never made any mention about her punching James in the side of his head. And although I didn't see any marks on James while we were moving Jamie out of there, Jamie is a lot smaller than James is. She probably wouldn't have hit him that hard, or had the ability to hit him hard enough to bruise him. But when Crystal Beauchamp was hitting me, yeah, Crystal's a lot bigger than Jamie. She's taller, she's wider, she's got more, and that's not me calling Crystal Beauchamp fat, because she's not. Or at least she wasn't the last time I saw her. It's about the fact that Crystal Beauchamp can do a lot more damage than Jamie is capable of. And when Crystal Beauchamp was assaulting the shit out of me, I took it. I didn't defend myself in the way that James did. There was no bookshelf, even though it happened at the Boulder Public Library, it happened outside. There was no bookshelf for me to push Crystal Beauchamp into. James, he says, well, you know, we made that agreement. Jackie had already made that post. Yeah, I know. But the other thing is that I'm going to defend myself. When I realized the shit that Jackie was actually posting, and that so many people who were actually lying and slandering my name on that post, you fucking goddamn right I defended myself. And yes, James was involved in that situation. None of this should have been dealt with the way that it was. First of all, in my personal opinion, as soon as Jamie got all bruised up like that, she should have gone to the police. But she didn't. And if she was the one who assaulted James, then he should have gone to the police. But I understand why he didn't. See, that's the thing. It doesn't matter who started it. He's the one with the penis. He's the one who's huge. She's the one with bruises. He's going to be the one who gets in trouble for it. However, Jackie is doing the things that she's doing because her friend got busted playing. She should have come forward and said something over a year and a half ago. This should have been dealt with as adults. But we don't teach women to be adults about anything. We teach them to play people and then talk about being adults. That's not okay. The fact is that the law needs to be the same for men and women. It's supposed to be on paper, but in actuality, it doesn't end up being that way. In reality, it's always the man's fault. Is that literally always the man's fault? No, there's a 13% conviction rate against women who assault men that shows that it's not always that way. However, statistically speaking, men are more likely to be abused in a relationship than women, and they're a lot more likely to be convicted. Imagine that. Now let's talk about medications. There's a difference between injecting yourself with steroids and someone being forcibly injected with mind-altering, dangerous medications like Haldol or ketamine. Now, statistically, only 7% of people on medications are helped by those medications when it comes to things like psychotropic medications, depression and anxiety medications, and things like that. 7%. Not 17, not 70. 7%. So when you're trying to shove drugs down someone's throat, you need to keep that in mind. They have a 7% chance of finding the medication that might help them. And all of our physiology is different. Medications that work for you might not work for other people. The types of medications that work for you might not work for other people. Now let's say psychotropic medications. All right, let's say that they work for you. Most of them don't work for you, but after years and years of trying and adjusting dosages, you finally got a medication that works. That's fine. You can have a brother, same mom, same dad, who takes those very same meds and they make him violent. But you, because you found a medication that works for you, you want to shove medications at him like they're going to work. Meanwhile, you might have a chemical imbalance, and that's why the medication works for you. Your brother might have an issue with the situation that he's in, a stressful situation that is an environmental situation. That means that it's not medications that need to be changed, it's the environment that needs to be changed. Now, with that whole situation with Jamie and James up there in South Dakota, obviously that wasn't a lie. Obviously I did turn around on that trip to go up there and help Todd move Jamie out of that place that she was living in with James. No matter what the reason was, I did turn around to go help Jamie and her son get out of that situation. Jamie, the situation that she told me was going on, versus the situation that James said is going on, those are two completely different stories. But the fact is, Jamie saying none of that happened, that doesn't detract from the fact that it did. By James's own words, it did. By James's own words, I did go there. I did turn all the way around at my own expense to go help out and rescue Jamie from a situation that she needed a hero in. Her exact words were, "I need a hero." Jamie should have come forward, but she was busy playing. And a lot of the stuff that Lana and Amanda Engeline had to say about Jamie, well, yeah, it's pretty fucked up. Because Jamie was obviously playing the situation and playing her advantage, and that's a fucked up thing for Jamie to do. But I already knew Jamie was like that, and James verified that Jamie is like that. I got Chris Stegman on my computer here, and although I haven't released his video, it's like almost an hour long. I got to sit with this thing and record it and so on and so forth. And there's just more important evidence and more important stuff to go through. See, the thing is, all of these little piddly drama bullshit with all of these little girls, and yes, I'm going to say little girls when it comes to Jamie and Jackie. They're little girls mentally. They're never going to be adults. But they also have families that they can rely on. Families who will assume that they're right and not bother with looking at all of the evidence. They're just going to assume that these people are right because they're related. When I found out that picture that Jamie showed me where her and her brother have matching black eyes, when James told me that he was the one that beat on Nathan, I thought that was kind of funny because Jamie claimed that she's the one that did that to her brother. She claimed that she's the one that bruised her brother's eye. But now, that's the thing, is that Nathan Roberts is, well, he beat on his sister and he got away with it. When I encounter a situation like that, people need to just leave me alone. I'm not violent like James is. I'm not violent like Jamie is. I'm not violent like Nathan Roberts is. You have to back me into a corner and be attempting to put drugs into me to get any sort of reaction even close to that. How many people have I gotten violent with since Natalie died? Outside of an institution or jail? None. Every single time that I have defended myself, it's because I was backed into a corner by law enforcement who didn't want to listen, and hospital staff who didn't care. I needed actual help, and that help needed to come from someone who actually gave a shit, to take a look at the evidence. Not one person sat down with me to look at the evidence. Not even one. Not one police officer. Not one friend. Not one public pretender. Nobody. None of these web sleuths did. None of them. And I try to post up as much as I can, but this all takes time and it takes resources. Meanwhile, all of my resources are gone, and I have to try to figure out how to work past, first of all, my disabilities. And part of those disabilities include my environment and my financial status. And I have to work through those by myself. Well, Sean, what about all the help that people gave you? What help? Literally, the help that I needed was people to help me go through the evidence and force the police to look at it. Force the courts to look at it. Instead of people telling me what to do and then shoving it in my face that they gave me a sandwich. See, here's the thing. If I'd have been able to get an honest day in fucking court, if somebody had gone in with me like they said that they would, then I could have had my disability money and put a roof over my head and been left alone. And that's all I fucking wanted. Since I left Virginia, I just wanted to be left the fuck alone and go see my loved ones without being threatened and harassed. But that didn't get to happen. Meanwhile, Jackie's drug habits are out there. Amy Kalina Kingery's drug habits are out there. A lot of people who I love very much and I care about very much decided to stab me in the back, lie about me, and steal my things under false pretenses, starting with Ken and Leah. And this is all stuff that I have to deal with while being treated like I'm some sort of a fucking child molesting, rapist, murdering piece of shit. And then once people realized I didn't do those things, they go back to the stalking thing. Oh, well, you stalked her. No, I didn't stalk anybody. I sure as fuck harassed the hell out of a lot of folks, though. You're goddamn right I am. Fucking cowardly pieces of shit.